Hey everyone, it's Andrew here. So starting your own business is an amazing idea. Yeah, it'll be hard. Yeah, it'll be time consuming. But if you don't do it, you will always think, what if? So for those starting a business, you are already off to a great start by just thinking you can do it. Now I'm going to go through 3 things that most people do when starting a business, but they really shouldn't do. The 3 things are trying to get every little detail perfect before making a sale, not doing good enough market research and testing, and not knowing their numbers. Now, I've been a part of 2 very successful businesses, one in e-commerce and one in digital products. One I have exited completely for a big payday. The other is probably like an 8-figure business, depending on how you value it. I have other businesses I'm in the early stages of as well, but what's more important is that I have started and quit probably like 10 other businesses over the past decade without any return. So let me share some of these experiences. Okay, so first let's talk about trying to get everything perfect before making a sale. Let me provide a concrete example. So I have a friend, Leona. Hi, Leona. So she is starting a business in the interior design architecture world. She is a fantastic designer and has many years of experience. Now she wants to do her own work for clients in a specific niche field in the architectural industry. Specifically, it's in like image rendering, which is making architectural designs look like real photos so clients can see what they are building. The business idea is great because she knows this space deeply and she knows how to make a great product. But Lena, you know this because I told you, I think you are trying to get your website to look perfect and that will just take too long. You believe that with a perfect website, you'll get clients to choose you. That's just not true. Yes, your portfolio is important to show clients what you can do, but you already have those images. A website is a nice to have, but it isn't really a big deal in getting that first client. I think you are scared of trying to get clients because that is sales and it's intimidating and it's hard. So fluffing around on your website and making sure everything is perfect is just delay on what the real work is, which is sales. You need to get a paying client. You have a portfolio of images to show them, the website isn't going to help you that much. So I think you should spend your weekends working on the website, but Monday to Friday, when clients are working, you need to be working to find them. Now this reminds me of how Jim Koch, the founder of Boston Beer Company, spent weeks looking for an office, figuring out which computer to buy, who his assistant will be, all before he actually made even one sale. And the uncomfortable reality is that a business needs sales, and a beer company needs to get sales. Now, let me explain one nuance of what I'm talking about here. You still must have a great product. You need a great product so that sales are easy. Then you'll get happy clients that will help you get more clients. So if your beer tastes like water or your pictures are blurry, then that is where you need to spend your time. Nailing that, then go and sell it. So don't waste time playing office, making this perfect website or doing perfect branding or perfect packaging. Just get the core product into the hands of the clients so they are happy. All those other little things are important and will help the business, but they're not urgent. And this leads me to the second mistake, which is not enough good quality market research. So Jim Koch at Boston Beer had it relatively easy. It was pretty easy to see that people drink beer, so it wasn't a new invention. So he could make a great beer, which is his passion. He knew that he could sell it because people already drink beer. Once he nailed the product and loved the taste, he gave it to people to see their reaction. They loved it and wanted to buy it, so sales were really easy. Now this market research was not too difficult, even though there was lots of competition in the beer space. If Jim tried to sell his beer online only, well, I doubt that would have been a good decision. No one is going to try an unknown beer online and pay for it. You have to figure out a way for people to fall in love with your product. So for Lena's image rendering business, the market research is easy for her because she works in the space every day and does a lot of this work already herself. So she knows that it's a critical piece of the architectural process. Now let me share you my own experience. I was looking to start selling something online, specifically on Amazon back in 2014. Now, what a lot of other potential sellers were doing at the time was wanting to sell a particular idea that they had a passion for. For example, all sorts of baking dishes, because they like baking and they wanted a baking business. But competition was already saturated in the baking segment on Amazon, so you would have to do something totally different to stand out. Maybe invest in creating a new baking dish. Then I don't know how to sell a new invention without a lot of marketing. Or you could go into Amazon's back-end data and figure out what there were quite a lot of sales for, but not a lot of competition. This is what I did. I looked at the data to see where the gaps were. I ended up finding a niche in female fitness equipment accessories. Sure, that's not my passion, but I have a passion for business, and the data told me that this was an opportunity. So I was able to produce products for this niche and get sales almost from day one because the market wanted what I was selling and I could compete easily. So don't fall in love with your idea until you've done the market research, which I think is critical. It was critical to my business, and I think it's critical to any business startup. And just too many times I see people making these first two mistakes. They have an idea that they think will be great without any data or actual experience if it will actually work. Then they spend too much time playing office, getting every detail right, delaying actually getting some information and some sales. Now I know that even here on YouTube, I almost did the same thing. When I first started, I was thinking I would make 10 videos first, try to make them perfect, then release them. But my friend told me to just go for it and don't worry about making everything perfect. Deal with that stuff later. Just get into it. Who knows, maybe I don't even like making YouTube videos, so I'll quit. Better to find out that as soon as possible so my brain can move on, and that was great advice. Now, the third mistake I think most people make is not knowing their numbers. Now, numbers doesn't just mean dollars, it also means time. Leanna, I'll talk specifically about your business idea because it has a time component. So you do need to get sales and get into the first month or two of a business first before really getting a handle on the numbers, because there will be things that you just don't know. But let's say you have one client. The work took around 10 hours to complete and deliver. Now you charge, say, $50 per hour for the work, so that's $500 of profit. Pretty simple, right? But what are you missing? All that time talking back and forth with the client before actually starting the work. What about the running costs of your business? And what about the running costs of the business? Do you have some paid software for these images? Do you have Dropbox? Do you have an accountant? Do you have to pay tax? You probably have to pay tax. Now, what does this business look like at 10 clients? Will you be able to handle 10 clients at the same time? If not, what will it cost to hire someone? Are you making enough money to hire someone? So what if you are getting $2,000 per month with 10 clients, but you need to hire someone to help you? And that's going to cost you $2,000 per month. So after software costs, you are actually losing money. But you think the business is doing really well because you have these 10 paying clients. What you need to think is whether you are charging enough to scale the business. See, my fitness products were really far trickier to budget for. If I was getting 20 sales a day at $20 a product, I would have to factor in Amazon's fees, storage fees, shipping fees, because a pallet load, I had to break that down to a unit level. And there's manufacturing costs, there's bank fees, which I also had to break down to a per unit cost. And after all of these things, was I able to have enough cash flow to reorder another, say, 5,000 units up front? If I didn't know my numbers, it was easy to actually be cash flow negative and still be growing. Therefore, I had to put money into the business out of my own pocket. When was this ever going to stop? I had to really know my numbers. So I wasn't going to be caught by surprise that maybe my business was making plenty of sales, but I was taking great risk of falling over if one of these expenses, say, jumped up in price. So if I was still running this business today, I would have to seriously calculate the shipping costs into a per unit level to make sure my per unit profitability was still strong enough to be able to reorder more inventory. Because as you probably know, shipping costs have gone up like threefold in the last like 2 or 3 years with all the supply chain issues around the world. So you've got to know your numbers, especially in an import-export business. Now, my dad's farm has cattle that he buys, he fattens up, and then he sells. He has to factor in all the costs of that. Even things like the value of the grass supply in the paddock and the wear and tear of the fences that keep the cattle in the paddock. Look, sorry for getting into those details, but there is no magic formula for all businesses. Every business is unique and has its own costs in both dollars and time. You have to calculate it all and recalculate it over and over again until you really know your numbers. Okay, I could probably talk about this all day, so if you do want more content around starting businesses and things like that, please let me know. Mostly my channel is about investing, especially in like public companies. If you want to follow along with my commentary and updated watch lists, please join my e-magazine in the description. It comes out once a month. But again, I talk mostly about the stock market. Look, give this video a thumbs up if you liked hearing about startup business topics, as it helps my channel and it helps me understand whether I should do more of this. Thanks for getting this far in the video, and see you next time.